As already noted, we need to perform a little bit of cleanup on our helmet here in order to get it ready for application of the open subdiv modifier that it needs. And so let's set about doing that by first of all removing the interior polygons from our previous cut operations. With the helmet selected then, let's come into the modifier tab, jump into polygon selection mode, select all of the interior polygons, and then hit the delete key. We can start to clean things up a little bit now by first of all applying a symmetry modifier to the geometry, and then clicking the flip option. Now to make sure that all of the vertices on the symmetry line are welded, we can also set the threshold value to about 1 centimeter. Let's then right click and convert this to an editable poly and jump into vertex subobject mode, which is where most of our cleanup work will be done. Now perhaps one of the first things that we notice here is that we do have quite a number of extra vertices that we may or may not want to make use of. For instance, we could probably get rid of the 4 extra vertices sitting either side of the center line. And so let's control click to select all of those. And then in the command panel, again whilst holding down the control key, click the remove button in the edit vertices rollout, which as you can see tidies things up a bit while still keeping this nice curvature in place. Let's come to the vertices panel on the ribbon, and after choosing the target weld tool, weld the double vertices that we see on the side of our opening here. Now I'm going to weld downward rather than upward here, as this seems to give us a more natural looking line. The lesson being that it is always good to experiment with things like the order of operations, and this just gives us the ability to see which will give us the best end result. We also have these extra vertices in the corners of the opening that we might want to remove as well, seeing as they are creating n-gons. In this instance, all we need to do is engage the cut tool again, and for each of these n-gons, add a simple cut that will now give us 2 quads at each of these corner sections. If we add an open subdiv modifier from the command panel now, and set it to a value of 2, you can see if we hit F4 and check on both sides that we are getting a really nice smoothed result. Finally, let's make a single cut on the last 2 n-gons at the top of the porthole, starting with the extra vertices on our porthole edge, and cutting directly across to the vert on the other side of the n-gon, which will give us 2 sets of quad polygons. We do need to tweak the vertex positions a little, and so let's select those, engage our edge constraint option in the edit panel, and in the left view, slide these around to give ourselves more even spacing. Meaning, we are ready to move on now and start to extrude the actual viewport geometry from our helmet.